Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushai, by Hashem Rachah HaKodash. Double honors to my other apostles, a great millstone, and peace and salutation. It's the hopeful members of the elect, the Bukhari in the house of David, that's been preordained, predestined to get delivered in these last times and to be the ruling, governing body of the nation of Yasha'Allah. I want to go into a lesson on how the Most High, who the world calls God, his true name is Yahweh, and his only begotten Son, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, his true name is Yahushai, how they are the power of the Israelites, okay? And only for Israel. The Lord is not dealing with any other nation as they make it seem in the Christian church or other denominations that, deal with the Bible, all right? Catholicism, Jehovah's Witness, all right? Mormons. The Lord is not dealing with all nations. He's strictly dealing with the nation of Israel, which consists of the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans today. And we've also been scattered. So your lineage, your nationality is determined by your father. All right. So we've been scattered everywhere. And our forefathers have slept with, Jake loved women. All right. And Jake is just like a word we say for Jacob, all right, short for Jacob, but, and we're referring to Israelites when we say that, but Jake loved women. So our forefathers were laying down with other women, and their offspring through time were taking on the attributes of the people around them, all right, of the inhabitants around them, all right, their mother's nation, their physical attributes, okay? You see, it's like putting an apple seed in China and then putting an apple seed in Russia. It's still going to grow to be an apple tree. It's relatively the same thing, but it might look different due to the environment. All right, one region is colder, so it might look a little different. But either way, it's still an apple. It's still an apple tree. All right, because that seed, you see, because that seed, man. All right. So your nationality, your spirit is determined by your father, okay? But the Lord is only dealing with the nation of Israel, okay? Let's get some scriptures for that. Psalms 147, verse 19. He sheweth his word unto Jacob, his statutes and his judgments unto Israel. He hath not dealt so with any nation. And as for his judgments, they have not known them. Praise ye the Lord. Okay, so the Lord only gave his statutes and his commandments, which that was the covenant that he made with us, okay, that he made with the children of Israel when we were delivered by the hands of Moses, all right, when we were delivered out of Egypt. He made that covenant with our forefathers in that desert, okay, to follow his law, statute, commandments, and we'll be a blessed nation. But yet, we disobeyed, and now we're in Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, verse 15 all the way down. We went through hardcore bondage, all right? We went through hardcore bondage. We went through slavery. We lost our nationality, but now we're getting it back just like prophecy said it would, okay? And we're still under our oppressors waiting for Yahushai, a so-called black man, by the way, from the tribe of Judah, waiting to return and redeem his people, but only the elect is go around, all right? But thus, the nation of Israel will be saved, okay? Okay? He hath not dealt so with any nation. So the Lord is not dealing with any nation, okay? When we were in the desert, we had to go and conquer lands in Canaan, which became known as Israel, the Holy Land. The Lord wasn't, stopping it, saying, hold on, let them, they can join too. Give them my statutes and commandments. No, the Lord was authorizing it. He said, go slay everyone, all right? Go slay everyone. So that shows you that the Lord is not dealing with every nation. Just read the scriptures, all right? Read the scriptures, man. It says he hath not dealt so with any nation, and as for his judgments, they have not known them. Praise ye the Lord. Actually, a matter of fact, let me get a scripture. I believe it's in Nahum. Hold on. Bear me for 1 second. Let me just pause this real quick. Okay, so this is the book of Nehemiah, all right? So Nehemiah, just to give you background, Nehemiah 1 verse 1, the words of Nehemiah, the son of Hachaliah, and it came to pass in the month of Chilisu, in the 20th year, as I was in Shushan, the palace, all right? And Shushan was in, it was a Persian territory, all right? And what you call, actually, let's look it up real quick, all right? All right, let's look it up. I believe they call it Susa today. But I believe it's in Iran, all right? Susa was an ancient city in the lower Zagros Mountains, about 250 kilometers east of the Tigris River, between the Kharkay and Dez rivers in Iran, you see? So, as you can see on the map, all right, because, you know, the Persians are Elam too. Oops, I don't know why it's blocking it, it's weird. But let's go to images. All right, you see it right there. Susa, you know, right there. All right. See Elam and Susa's right there. By it looks like that says Iran. Again, right by the Tigris River, you know, right by the Persian Gulf, somewhat. Okay, so that's where the palace was. So this during the Medial Persian Empire. Okay, that Hanani or Hanani, one of my brethren came, and certain men of Judah, and I asked them concerning the Jews that has escaped, which were left of the captivity, and concerning Jerusalem. And they said unto me, the remnant that are left of the captivity there in the province are in great affliction and reproach. The wall of Jerusalem also is broken down, and the gates thereof are burned with fire. And it came to pass, when I heard these words, I sat down and wept and mourned certain days, and fasted and prayed before the power of heaven. Okay. All right. It says, and I beseech the Lord, O Yahweh, power of heaven, the great and terrible power that keepeth covenant and mercy for them that love him and observe his commandments. Let thine ear now be attentive and thine eyes open, that thou mayest hear the prayer of thy servant, which I pray before thee now, day and night, for the children of Israel, thy servants, and confess the sins of the children of Israel, not the whole world, only the children of Israel, which we have sinned against thee. Both I and my father's house have sinned, and we have dealt very corruptly against thee, and have not kept the commandments, nor the statutes, nor the judgments which thou commandest thy servant Moses. Remember, I beseech thee, the word that thou commandest thy servant Moses, saying, if ye transgress, I will scatter you abroad among the nations. Right. So we were scattered abroad among the nations. All right. We were put in captivity. Okay. Let me get a scripture for that, actually. All right. And no other nation actually went through a vigorous or rigorous captivity other than the children of Israel. All right. Okay. This is Baruch, the 4th chapter, verse 6. It says, you were sold to the nations not for your destruction, but because you moved to the Most High to wrath. You moved the Most High to wrath. You were delivered unto the enemies. All right. Baruch 3 verse 4. O Lord Almighty, thou power of Israel, hear now the prayers of the dead Israelites and other children which have sinned before thee, and not hearken unto the voice of their God, for the which cause these plagues cleave unto us. Actually, that's not the one. Let me skip down. Salakia, verse 8. Behold, we are yet this day in our captivity. So we're still in captivity. All right. Where thou hast scattered us for a reproach and a curse, and to be subject to payments, according to all thy iniquities of our fathers which departed from the Lord our power. Right. We're still in bondage. All right. We're still in captivity under our oppressors, man. You see, subject to payments, and it's, you know, ironic now everyone is subject to payments now, because this elite, these elites the international banking families, Rockefellers, excuse me, the Rothschilds, want to put everyone in slavery. And how they want to do it, their next plan, that's going to be the part of their New World Order through that C to the H to the I to the P. That's the MOTB. All right. So let's go back to Nehemiah now. All right, just give you the background. I mean, the point is in the next chapter. Okay. So it says, verse 9, but if ye turn unto me and keep my commandments and do them, though there were of you cast out unto the uttermost part of the heaven, yet will I gather you from thence and will bring them unto the place that I have chosen to set my name there. Now these are thy servants and thy people whom thou hast redeemed by thy great power and by thy strong hand. O Lord, I beseech thee, let now thine ear be attentive to the prayer of thy servant and to the prayer of thy servants who desire to fear thy name. You see the name, which is Yahweh, and his son is Yahushua. All right, we say Yahweh Ba'ashem, which means in the name Yahushua. And prosper, I pray thee, thy servants this day, and grant him mercy in the sight of this man, for I was the king's cupbearer. Okay. And it came to pass in the month Nisan, in the 20th year of Xerxes the king, that wine was before him, and I took up the wine and gave it unto the king. Now I had not been before time sad in his presence. Wherefore the king said unto me, why is thy countenance sad, seeing thou art not sick? This is nothing else but sorrow of heart. Then I was very sore afraid, and said unto the king, let the king live forever. Why should not my countenance be sad, when the city, the place of my father's sepulchres, lieth waste, and the gates thereof are consumed with fire? Then the king said unto me, for what dost thou make requests? So I prayed to the God of heaven. And I said unto the king, if it please the king, and if thy servant have found favor in thy sight, that thou wouldest send me unto Judah, unto the city of my father's sepulchres, that I may build it. And the king said unto me, the queen also sitting by him, for how long shall thy journey be, and when wilt thou return? So it pleased the king to send me, and I set him a time. Okay. Moreover, I said unto the king, if it please the king, let letters be given me to the governors beyond the river, that they may convey me over till I come into Judah. So, he was allowed, he got a permission by the king, all right, during the Medo-Persian Empire, okay, a Persian king, to he got authorized to build up, the gates of his city again, to build up Jerusalem, all right. So, just skipping down, okay, and let's show you that these heathens that were trying, to sabotage it, all right, and put stress on us, okay. Yeah, right. So, let's go to verse 10 and get to the point. When Sanballat, and this is Nehemiah 2, verse 10, when Sanballat the Horonite and Tobiah the servant, the Ammonite, heard of it, it grieved them exceedingly that there was come a man to seek the welfare of the children of Israel. So I came to Jerusalem and was there 3 days, and I rose in the night, I and some few men with me. Neither told I any man what my power had put in my heart to do at Jerusalem. Neither was there any beast with me, save the beast that I rode upon. And I went out by night by the gate of the valley, even before the dragon well, and to the dung port, and viewed the walls of Jerusalem, which were broken down, and the gates thereof were consumed with fire. Then I went on to the gate of the fountain, and to the king's pool, but there was no place for the beast that was under me to pass. Then went I up by the night by the brook, and viewed the wall, and turned back, and entered by the gate of the valley, and so returned. So he was scoping out the place. And mind you, those heathens that he mentioned, they were grieved, all right? Because these heathens, when they, especially the higher ups, because these ordinary people, they don't even know what the hell's going on. They don't even know who God's people are, who's God's chosen people. I mean, they're knowing it now because the prophets are out there telling them, and on, through the media, all right, through social media, all right. The world is waking up, whether they believe or not. They hearing the message. They're hearing this gospel. All right, which is being preached throughout the four corners of the earth, But these elites, though, these higher ups, they're grieved. They're so afraid, man. They don't want us to come back to our power because they know that's it. Once we come back into our power, which is prophecy, which we will do, and Yahushua returns on that great and dreadful day, And that's the same day America gets nuked and delivered the elect throughout the four corners of the earth. That's when the kingdom of heaven is going to be established. All right, and reign forever. Okay? It says, and the rulers knew not whither I went or what I did, neither had I as yet told it to the nobles. It's like it told it to the Jews, nor to the priests, nor to the nobles, nor to the rulers, nor to the rest that did the work. Then said I unto them, ye see the distress that we are in, how Jerusalem lieth waste, and the gates thereof are burned with fire. Come and let us build up the wall of Jerusalem, that we be no more a reproach. Then I told them of the hand of my power which was good upon me, as also the king's words that he had spoken unto me, and said, let us rise up and build. So they strengthened their hands for this good work. But when Sanballat the Horonite and Tobiah the servant, the Ammonite, and Geshem the Arabian heard it, they laughed us to scorn and despised us and said, what is this thing that ye do? Will ye rebel against the king? Then answered I them and said unto them, the power of heaven, he will prosper us. Therefore we as servants will arise and build, but ye have no portion, nor right, nor memorial in Jerusalem, the city of peace, man, which will be the headquarters once again. All right. So the Lord is only for his people, and it tells you that time and time throughout the scriptures, man. Okay. So just give you some background, man. All right. Just give you some background. Okay. Because they want to say that the Lord's for everybody. He's not. He's only for the children of Israel. And on this go around particularly, he's only for his elect. All right. Now, scripture I want to get is 2nd Ezra, the 6th chapter. I'm going to get to the point too. I don't want to make this too long. 2nd Ezra, chapter 6, verse 54. And after these, Adam also, whom thou madest Lord of all thy creatures, of him come we all, and the people also whom thou hast chosen. So that's the distinction right there. All right. All this have I spoken before thee, O Lord, because thou madest the world for our sakes. And as for the other people which also come of Adam, thou hast said that they are nothing, but be like unto spittle. And I liken the abundance of them unto a drop that falleth from a vessel. And people try to disprove, the Apocrypha, but the Apocrypha is part of the Old Testament. Okay, because it starts with the Medo-Persian Empire and ends with the Greek Empire. All right, but they discredit it for that reason alone, because they know the accuracy of it. Okay, and it tells you in time and time, how the Lord is only for his people. All right, and it'll also link, the Edomites, all right, to the Greek Empire. And once you know the Edomites are the original Greeks, they're not the original Greeks. That's actually Japhet. But the Greeks, which people know, the Greeks are, so-called white people, but they don't know that they're Edomites. That's their true nationality. All right. You can even look up a book called William Beeston, the Roman Empire, the Empire of the Edomites. People even try to disprove that, saying, they try to say that, it's not authentic. People want to discredit anything that's truth. All right. They'll love to hear that God's for everybody and the Edomites are, okay. No, the Lord hates the Edomites, man. And he loves Israel. All right? So, Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rachak Wadash, the honest amount of apostles, a great millstone, and peace and citation to the hopeful members of the elect. With that, Shalom.